Welcome to the Cruise Retreat Podcast. Hi, I'm Rita Perez, and I'm a travel advisor specializing in, you guessed it, cruise ship retreats. This podcast is for service-based entrepreneurs and corporate decision makers to learn more about staying everyone's favorite company with a cruise ship retreat. Ready to increase your client or employee retention? Listen in on this week's show. Hello everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. This week I want to dive in a little bit into the first C of cruise retreat planning, and that is cruise. And I specifically want to talk about not all cruises are made equally. And I say that because you may be thinking that you don't want to have a retreat or an in-person event on a cruise ship because what you're thinking about are the typical mass market cruises that have thousands of people on board. I always joke about the belly flop competition, tons of pools, lots of partying, lots of boozing and all that, which maybe that is your group, which is great. So you really know what the cruise experience really is all about. But that is just one type of cruise experience. It is not all types of cruise experience. And I think especially with myself, having recently experienced some of those mass market cruises, I can kind of find myself almost pulling away from those types of experiences because I really just want to travel deeply and just have a richer experience when I cruise. And it may be easier for you to identify with different brands. So when I talk mass market cruises, I'm talking about Norwegian, Royal Caribbean, Carnival Cruise Line, MSC Cruises. Those are really the most prominent mass market cruises. Then you kind of like get to the next tier of cruising, which is a premium cruising level. And that really is going to be a Princess, Holland America, Celebrity, Azamara. Some of these I would even classify as an upper premium because they do have more inclusions than others. For example, Azamara and Celebrity have more inclusions than what you'll find on Princess or Holland America. Another cruise line that I think about in this area is Cunard. And these are lesser known cruise lines, but they do have an elevated feel. So if you're wanting to have a little bit of upscale with a little bit of less stuffiness kind of on board, I feel like this, because they are a really good mix of what these mass market cruises and luxury cruises are. So you do have the elevated experience, elevated food, beautiful. And I'm not saying that on mass market cruises the ships aren't beautiful, because they are, especially the newer ships are very beautiful. But you just have higher quality, higher caliber of items available on board and to view and aesthetics when you get to these premium and mass market cruises. And you also have, depending again who you sail with, you have a couple of more inclusions, which means less nickel and diamond once you are on board. And then the next level of cruising from there, I would say, which is on these larger ships, are the luxury type cruises. And I'm thinking Silversea, Seabourn, Regent Seven Seas are just a few of the ones that come to the top of my mind. Oh, Crystal Cruises is another one. And these are luxury cruise lines. And I haven't sailed yet, but I have done a ship inspection on a Crystal ship, and it was just like pure bliss. The biggest difference to me is when I am doing a ship inspection on something like Royal Caribbean or Carnival, you just see a lot of people on the pool deck dancing around, splashing around, drinking, having a loud good time. Whereas on a Crystal, everything is just nice and calm and there's no running around. The pool area isn't crowded at all. So it is a very different feel. And that's where I say, how people utilize you either for coaching or maybe you're an employer. They everybody has choices, just like you have different choices on where you can shop for clothing. And that's because everybody has different styles. Not everybody is the same, thankfully. The same thing goes for cruise ships. So there's different experiences available and different ships available depending on the experience that you are wanting to experience, not only for yourself, but also what you're wanting your passengers, your clients, your team members to be experiencing with you. So if you want that elevated feel and more things included in your cruise, luxury may be the way to go. And so I'm specifically talking about the ocean cruises. So you see that those are the three different tiers. You have your mass market, or some would also call them contemporary. You have your premium, upper premium, and then you have your luxury. On top of that, you have small ship cruise experiences, and these can be just small ship luxury experiences, or you can have small ship expedition experiences. And when I'm thinking about that, I think specifically, the Galapagos product from Celebrity Cruise Lines. I think of Paul Gauguin cruises in Tahiti. I think of American Queen Voyages, who does like really exclusive, especially around Alaska voyages. Small ships, you're going to have definitely less than 200 passengers on board. You're not going to have any big productions. And really, it is an immersive experience because you're going to have a lot of experts involved, and these ships usually have smaller zodiacs so that you can really get into the heart of the destination. So there is a lot of like geological exploration as well as wildlife exploration. That is what these expedition ships do really, really well at, because they're smaller, they're purpose built, and they have these extra zodiacs to take you out there and really get you exploring in the nitty gritty. And then the kind of last avenue that I see in the cruise line world are the river ships, which again, they are another small ship experience because you're going to have less than 200 passengers. But the difference with them is that instead of kind of going out to remote areas, which I feel more that the expeditions are more to remote areas, the river cruise lines are actually sailing through the heart of countries and destinations. So whereas you're sailing on an ocean ship to different islands and different ports, you're actually sailing through countries, and it's pretty cool. I mean, I love river ships, and especially after having experienced some recent mass market ships, I was like, I don't think this is me I don't think this is me anymore. I think my style is more that calm, laid back. I really want to be immersed in the culture with entertainment, activities, food, beverage. Those are the things that I really enjoy. And history is another very important factor. And those are the things that river cruising can offer. Now, I will have to say maybe a subsector of some of the mass market cruises are that they have different areas that I would call ships within ships. And I'm specifically thinking about MSC Cruise Lines has the Yacht Club, and Norwegian Cruise Lines has the Haven. And these really are luxury, all access. Like you have to have your special key card to even have access to these areas. And the only way to get access is if you purchased a cabin in these areas. And if you do not want to leave those areas the entire time of the cruise, you can stay within the Haven or the Yacht Club, because it's pretty much, you have like concierge, butler service, your own dining area, your own pool area. So yeah, if all you wanted to do was kind of like live in your own lap of luxury, you can. But there are also extra perks that you get around the ship. So especially if you're very into entertainment options and the big Broadway shows, which that's probably my favorite part of cruising, of the big mass ocean cruising, is the amazing performances that you can get. You can get reserved private seating in the theaters because you are part of these exclusive cabin areas. and then march back up to your cabin and just lounge around in your luxurious cabin, or maybe you want to relax a little bit by the private pool or take in a drink or go to your private restaurant area. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of a better idea of the different options that really are available in the cruising world. And it's not just the different commercials that you may have seen up front, like either on social media or on TV. It's not just that. So if you automatically are kind of like, no, I'm not a cruise person, I would argue to say you haven't found the right cruise, or you've been on the wrong cruise line, because again, there are so many options you have to consider. You have to consider your budget, your client's budget, and the elevated experience. Like how do you want to make your clients feel? And I can match that up with the cruise line that is going to match what your needs are, what your clients' needs are, as well as to have that perfect backdrop for laying the foundation of whatever it is you're hoping to achieve from your retreat or in-person event. Another very important factor is that if you have an elevated type of brand and that is what you exude, that is what your experience is either with your team or your clients, you want to make sure that resonates within your program. So if you are an elevated experience, you're probably not going to want to sail on a mass market ship, vice versa. If you are more, I would say, relatable, low-key, just looking to have a really great time, or maybe just looking to reward team members, mass market might be it. Because don't get me wrong, even if I do prefer a certain standard of cruising, any cruise ship will be fine for me. I will find my own way to either relax or enjoy or have fun. So those are the different variables and stages when it comes to cruise line. I just wanted to set that stage for you that, again, not all cruise lines and not even all cruise ships are created equal. If you have any questions for me, please go ahead, shoot me an email, rita@ritaventures.net, or head over to the show notes if you are ready to start diving in a little bit deeper and planning out your next retreat experience in a super new, creative, and innovative way. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you next week. Thank you for joining me on the Cruise Retreat podcast. Please subscribe and leave the show a rating on your favorite podcast platform. And don't forget to take a look at the show notes for important information and links. See you next week.